won't even be closed from 2024. Getting them nuclear posts, cause Kamala's never winning. Liberal heads are spinning, MAGA's taking shade over, and this is just the beginning. Sipping on Diet Coke, I'm like, so what, you're woke? You're so freaking weak, and everybody thinks that you're a big joke.
What is up, guys? Tyson Dela Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. Big wins today, major wins today for Donald Trump and the campaign. Shout out to everybody. Major big wins. Let's go. Everybody, give yourself a round of applause. The crazy witch hunt for the sentencing that was supposed to happen on the 18th is postponed until the 26th. Some news about Carroll and some undercover footage from the DOJ. It's all dropping in this video, and you're gonna want to stay tuned because it might not last on the YouTubes. It might not last on the YouTubes. Shout out to everybody watching. Drop your comments down below. Smash the like button and let me know where you're watching this out of. Let's jump into the first video.
Before we begin, big news today is that the Manhattan DA witch hunt against me has been postponed because everyone realizes that there was no case because I did nothing wrong. It's a witch hunt. It's an attack by my political opponents in Washington, D.C. And Comrade Kamala Harris and radical left opponents for purposes of election interference. That's all that was. And it's a case that should have never been brought, but nothing like that has ever really happened in the United States that we know of, at least. And it's strictly third world, banana republic stuff. Importantly, the public understands this, and so does every legal scholar, expert, and luminary, including people and just highly respected people like the people in this room are highly respected, like Andy McCarthy, Jonathan Turley, Alan Dershowitz, Mark Levin, Stephen Calabrese, David Rifkin, Greg Jarrett, Katie and Andrew Cherkowski, and even from CNN, Eli Honig. I appreciate that, Eli, because he's been great. They all said it's a case that is not a case, shouldn't even be brought, politics. But I greatly appreciate the words in the letter today from the judge. He said, if necessary, being utilized in the decision because there should be no, if necessary, this case should rightfully be terminated immediately. And as we prepare for the most important election in the history of our country, it's the most important election we've ever had because our country is going bad.
Great opening remarks from Donald Trump at the what was it? The Fraternal Order of Police, which they endorsed him. Before we jump into some other videos today, I want to go over the latest forecast of the chances of winning for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. These are the latest from Nate Silver. This is the forecast of winning. As of on August 23rd, Harris had a 53.5% chance of winning. Donald Trump had a 46.1% chance of winning. And as of September 6th, today, if you're watching this, and I'm going to bust out a Kamala Harris ad lib here. If you're watching this today, tomorrow, if yesterday was today and tomorrow was yesterday, as today is tomorrow. If you're watching this today on September 6th, 2024, Trump has a 61.5% chance of winning. Harris at 38.3% chance of winning. Swing states chance of winning. Donald Trump has Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Arizona, North Carolina, Georgia, and Nevada. And the polling odds from the polling market have Donald Trump winning at 53% and Harris at 43 or 45%, excuse me. And I am sure that these numbers will drop for Harris and increase for Donald Trump after the debate on Tuesday. Now we're going to jump into some breaking undercover news. DOJ chief of public affairs admits Donald Trump's indictments are political motivation to quote unquote preserve justice. He reveals lawfare involved making former president a quote unquote convicted felon backfired on Democrats because when he was quote unquote a convicted felon, people liked him more. We're going to jump a little bit into this footage. YouTube, they might take this down. They might keep it up, but let's jump into this right here. Let me speed up. Boom, boom, boom. Here we go. And this is an undercover journalist here.
Felonies did nothing to stop Trump from running.
No, in fact, they made him more relevant.
Did that backfire?
Sure did. And the whole thing is disgusting. They're just out to get him. And that's why, like, the surgery in the office it's a perversion of justice. You're stacking charges and rearranging things just to make it fit a case. No, to be honest with you, I think the case is nonsense. State levels are Wild West. They're like idiots. They don't care. They're all political. So yeah, this guy's probably going to try to lock him up, and it's going to be ugly. They're so obsessed with getting him.
Who is they?
Who I've known for 15 years. He used to work in my office. Before he decided to prosecute Trump, did you know who he was? You do now. I'm not sure what he wants to be, but I know he's not happy just being the DA in New York County. So now he's very ambitious. Every real estate person in New York does what he did. Nobody's ever been charged with this. Until him.
Shout out to Mug Club for getting this here. This is undercover footage. This should be news. This is news because you guys are watching it. Let me know. Drop it in the chat. Let me know what you guys think about this. He is clearly Mr. Nicholas over here, Chief of Public Affairs from the U.S. Department of Justice, is saying this was clearly a I'm gonna subframe this quote unquote setup to get Donald Trump, and he was clearly saying it backfired. Because it made him more likable. Now, I understand if it was 1 or 2 counts, but then they're charging this man with 37 counts. It is like a crazy amount. It is like an over-exaggerated amount of convictions, which it's ridiculous. So you clearly know that they're trying to get him. Let me know what you guys think. Drop it in the comments down below. And before we jump into some more footage from the emergency press conference from this morning with Donald Trump, I am just going to show this footage, and you guys can make your own decision. This is an older piece of footage from E. Jean Carroll. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts, because this is what she said on CNN. This was a few years ago, but let me know your thoughts. Listen to this.
You don't feel like a victim.
I was not thrown on the ground and ravished, which the word rape carries so many sexual connotations. This was not sexual. It hurt.
But I think most people think of rape as it is a violent assault. It is not.
I think most people think of rape as being sexy.
Let's take a short break.
Think of the fantasies.
And I don't want to, for YouTube purposes, I don't want to I'm not. Gosh, guys, I don't condone any acts that aren't mutual. I do not condone that. I do not condone that. But yes, and what this woman is clearly saying is she said the R word, and it is not necessarily have to be quote unquote physical. And here's some footage. And I hope you guys understand. I hope you guys understand where I'm coming from, because I'm on this platform. So I just got to be cautious of what we're saying here. And this is Gene. You guys already know how I feel, though, by the way. You guys already know how I feel. There should be some type of defamation lawsuit against this person for stringing Donald Trump through the mud. So I hope you guys understand where I'm coming from. And this is her. This is her on MSNBC, and this is a few years ago. This is distasteful.
You've talked about using some of Trump's money that you're about to get to help shore up women's rights. Do you know what that might be, what that might look like?
Yes, Rachel. Yes.
Tell me.
I had such great ideas.
Before, I'm going to continue this video, but before we do, her attorneys are on her flanks. So one attorney. Watch their faces as she's saying this.
For all the good I'm going to do with this money. First thing, Rachel, you and I are going to go shopping. We're going to get completely new wardrobes, new shoes, motorcycle for Crowley, new fishing rod for Robbie. Rachel, what do you want? Penthouse? It's yours,
Nothing.
Rachel. Penthouse and France? You want France? You want to go fishing in France? No? Oh, all right. Okay.
Let me know what you guys think about that. Why would somebody say those things if the things that occurred were so? Why would she say those things? Why would she say those things? Drop it in the chat down below. Let me know what you guys think about this. And I want to be clear, because my stance on this is it's cringy. It's cringy. Anyways, I'm going to go into what Elena Hubba had to say. Shout out to Elena Hubba. If you guys caught this on the live stream, Elena Hubba just drops gems when it comes to this.
Good afternoon. I've done this one too many times. Actually, too many times for the.
I like Elena Hubbard, by the way. I like Elena Hubbard. She's not only a very beautiful woman, she's intelligent. She stands for women's rights, and she's doing her thing. Let me know if you guys like her as well, because every time that she shows up on a podium, she drops the mic.
The last 3.5 years, while President Trump has been trying to fight to get this country back. And I want to speak to the American women, and I want to speak to the people that need to get out and vote on November 5th. I have sat with President Trump for years now, while he has been targeted with lies and with judges, AGs, and DAs who have specifically run in this city and others on getting Trump. The Trump administration will fix this problem. We will stop Kamala Harris's regime, because she was there, let's not forget that, and she still is, of using officials from the White House, putting them in DA's offices, in AG's offices, and attacking your political opponent. And this country deserves better than this. We do. We should not be sitting here at a press conference talking about this. We did this in 2016, and every woman had no reports. They come out when it's election time. And as a woman who has stood with President Trump, who has spent extensive time with President Trump and with his beautiful family, I will tell you, that is not President Trump. And I completely am disgusted by what I have seen happen. to this person, his family, and the Trump organization that we stand in right now. You must vote Donald Trump back in because as an attorney, as a woman, as a mother, our future of this country depends on it. And we need to stop this from happening. The DOJ is supposed to help our country and protect us, not attack us because you cannot win in the polls. Thank you.
Fire. Come on, guys. Come on. Come on. Here is the news from earlier today.
Always good to see the secretary
regarding the postponement of the sentencing for the sentencing that was supposed to occur on September 18th, which was postponed till November 26th.
Terry, yes, this is some breaking news coming from the New York City courts. Judge Juan Marchand, who has been the presiding judge over former President Trump's so-called hush money case, has made a determination that he is not going to go ahead with the September 18th sentencing date for the former president.
By the way, we're going to get back into this video. I'm sorry. I'm cutting this. I'm cutting the videos because it boils me up. It boils me up that it's a quote unquote hush money case, but there are political leaders and people in administration now that have done far worse things, presumably. And it just boggles my mind.
It will be delayed until after the election. This had been a really fraught decision for this judge because people had observed, Sandra, that if he had have gone ahead with the sentencing, then the former president could have accused him of meddling in an election. And if he decided to delay the sentencing until after the election, no doubt he would get hit by a lot of accusations that he was acting in Donald Trump's political interests as opposed to in the interests of justice. But the breaking news coming to us just a couple of minutes ago, Judge Juan Marchand, the presiding judge in the so-called hush money case with Stormy Daniels, has decided to delay the sentencing for the former president until after the November election. This is a big decision, Sam.
Big news. Big news, guys. And this is Trump's lawyer, his other lawyer, speaking about, we're bouncing back and forth in cases, but this is his lawyer today with opening remarks at the emergency press conference today. Very good speech here.
Good morning, y'all. My name is Will Scharf. I'm one of President Trump's attorneys. Today, we presented oral argument before the United States Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit in one of two cases brought against President Trump by E. Jean Carroll. Now, it's really important to remember that E. Jean Carroll's story at its heart is an utterly implausible he said, she said story. There is no corroboration for anything she has ever claimed about President Trump. There are no corroborating witnesses, as President Trump alluded to. There is not confirmatory DNA. No police report was filed at the time of this alleged incident. She was unable to identify when this incident occurred until quite recently. No surveillance evidence or witnesses have ever been found or come forward confirming any aspect of E. Jean Carroll's story. In light of that, in light of the utter implausibility of the story that E. Jean Carroll was attempting to sell to the jury in this case, her attorneys introduced evidence that should have never seen the inside of a courtroom. Utterly insane efforts to introduce propensity witnesses, Jessica Leeds and Natasha Stoynoff, most notably, in an unfair and improper effort to buttress E. Jean Carroll's failed attempt to assault President Trump. Jessica Leeds' story is instructive here. This is a woman who claims that in the middle of a crowded airliner in 1979, President Trump assaulted her. Leeds has never been able to identify where this plane departed from, where it went to, the date of the flight in question, making our efforts to disprove her testimony extremely difficult. Under the federal rules of evidence, this story should have never been allowed to be presented to the jury in this case. The same is true of Natasha Stoynoff's story, which again lacks any indicia of reliability, any sort of credibility, any sort of confirmatory testimony from other witnesses or anything else that would make you believe that this actually happened. So on the one hand, you have a judge who allowed in this improper propensity evidence that should not have been allowed in. In our view, that polluted the jury's deliberations in this case. That presented a story to the jury of a series of a pattern of conduct that the jury should not have been considering. And we think that absent that propensity evidence, no fair jury could have reached the verdict that was reached in this case. And as a result, we believe that this verdict needs to be overturned. But there's more than that. In addition to this improper propensity evidence, President Trump and his trial team were prevented from cross-examining E. Jean Carroll and other witnesses on crucial issues in particular relating to political coordination and the political motivation behind this entire lawsuit. This is a lawsuit that was instigated in large part by George Conway, a longtime political foe and adversary of President Trump. This is a lawsuit that was funded by Reid Hoffman, a key political ally of the Biden-Harris administration and a major Democrat donor. We were limited in the evidence we were allowed to present at trial about these crucial facts. We were prevented from cross-examining E. Jean Carroll on aspects of that dynamic that underlies this entire lawsuit. And that, too, unfairly corrupted the jury's deliberations in this case and requires reversal of the jury verdict. I think this political coordination point is particularly important, though. It's important to emphasize because what we have seen in the last few years is a weaponization by the Biden administration and by their political allies of our legal system and of our courts to unlawfully, unconstitutionally interfere with President Trump's core First Amendment right to run for president. That is a right guaranteed to him by the Constitution. That is the right that his political opponents are attempting to strip away from him. We have seen this in case after case after case where unfair political motives have underlay what should be serious legal proceedings. And I think when you look at this situation in toto, when you look at what the left, when you look at what the Biden-Harris administration is attempting to do to President Trump, this is insane. This is an absolute abuse of our legal system. It's an absolute abuse of the rule of law. It should be deeply offensive, not just to political supporters of President Trump, but to each and every American. With respect to today's appeal, we are hopeful that the Second Circuit understands what's at stake here. We are hopeful that the Second Circuit understands what occurred during this trial, which was an improper use of evidence to buttress E. Jean Carroll's entirely meritless claims on the one hand, and an improper exclusion of evidence that would have informed the jury about the true motivation behind this lawsuit and that we believe would have resulted in a very different verdict. Thank you.
Get this. Okay. From 2022 till up until now, Trump has spent close to $88 million combating these claims from the opposed party and corroborators, as his attorney put it. $88 million fighting against these claims. RFK has spent a lot of money as well. And in the case with the hush money and the E. Jean Carroll case, they have spent the opposing team has spent over $53 million fighting to get Donald Trump. $53 million. Do you know where that money's coming from? Let me know in the chat if you know where that money's coming from, because it's coming from us, the taxpayers. Donald Trump is paying his own legal bills, but the opposing, the adversaries, $53 million of taxpayer money to tie him up on legal fees and to get him burnt out. They did the same thing with JFK. JFK had a huge win today as well. Huge win today. Huge. Guys, let me know what you think about all of this. It was a huge win today for the Trump team. Fight, fight, fight. That's what we got to do. Drop your comments down below. Let me know what you guys think about this all these shenanigans. Drop your comments down below. Smash the like button, share, subscribe. And as always, guys, I'll catch you guys on the next one.